Good afternoon. Noon. Afternoon is so literal. Literal. It means that noon has come and passed. Yeah, Amber says about time. I had therapy. Yeah, you're here first, and chat is working. Maybe the key is you need to be here first for the chat to work. maybe that's the key. You know, since YouTube is always censoring you. Right. Well, right. Oh, therapy. Yeah, I would recommend therapy for anybody in the program or any alcoholic that's willing to working on stuff. Heather, good to see you. Um, Good to see you, Heather. I went live earlier, but this is my second time. If you like, Heather, you can join if you have WhatsApp. Let me do this. If my folks don't, well, I can talk and do stuff at the same time here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat. And Heather, if you want to join that group, what it does, it tells you that I am live and gives a link to YouTube. So, but it's good to have you. Today we're going to be talking about why living in the now is so important. I don't think this topic, living in the now, a day at a time, doing things, understanding that now it's one of the most important aspects of the program. Well, I'm going to even rephrase that. I'm going to be a little bold here. It's good for anybody, not just people in the program, but for us. I'll give you an example. If I have 1 foot in yesterday and 1 foot in tomorrow, I'm going to piss all over today. And we can't be having that. Right? When we have the shame or the blame of the past, the regrets, we can't let our mind sit there and morbidly. Maybe we have to do a confrontation with somebody. It's going to be a little later in the day. So I start what ifing. I'll play that conversation in my head. Good afternoon, Claire. It is good to see you. All right. What's a great example of living in the now? Let's say you go to an AA meeting. There you go. We just had our noon meeting and it almost went an hour and a half. And 6 people, including myself. I don't know what's going on with well, I kind of do. And I don't want to sound egotistical. Right. But it's real easy to share in that meeting. People feel comfortable. They feel safe. People feel safe around me. And that's the key to a lot of what I do. You are safe around me. I'm not going to, unless you're doing something stupid. If you're trying to body broker, do something wrong in front of me. Yeah. Right. I will say something to you. And that's kind of the thing. There's a lot of times people come into that meeting, they see I'm running it, and they leave because they know they're not going to get away with their bullshit in that meeting. Right. And it feels like, oh no. Well, I do know, but it's just hard to put into words without sounding egotistical. People trust and respect me, and I utilize that to help out more people. That's what I do. I've been saying this a lot lately. Even if you hate me, I am still going to do everything that I can to save your children. That your emotions towards me is not where I will do anything. I'm not going to use that as like a revenge or anything like that. I just nah. I don't I don't I don't get into that. All right. Amber says I was surprised my Lucky Charm stayed the other night. And not sure who you're talking about. I think I do, but I think it's the person who doesn't like their name being brought up here, hence why they don't listen to me anymore. I think it's that. And it was good to see them. Heather says topic is right on. Been up and down all day after background check. Oh, let me tell you my experience with background checks. It usually has to do with jail time. You ever been in jail and you're getting ready to get out? They're like, oh, we got to do your full background check. Oh, man, you're going to what if every single thing in your life. But after a background check, license verification put me on the do not hire list, circled around through anger, self-pity, resentment, etc., to finally acceptance. Heather, you just explained the process of which we go through. There's nothing wrong with anger, self-pity and resentment, but the thing is, just like I was talking about with my therapist, with anything, recognizing the problem is kind of where it's at. See what you did, and then you got to acceptance because you understood what the problem was. You were able to bring yourself back into the now. And that's why you were able to solve that problem, move it to resentment. I'm sorry that you're going through that. That sucks. I would have to say my only answer to that would be God moves in mysterious ways. There's a reason for it. Yeah. You may not know that reason very soon, but one day, that experience will need to be utilized to help someone else. See, sometimes the problems that we get, that we find that we think God is giving us, is a preparation for something else. I go through it often. I'm kind of going through it right now. The people I was wanting to work with, I see them supporting their own people, and they can say everything they want to me, but I'm going to watch your actions. Your actions determine on whether or not I will work with you. And I have a very strong set of morals. I don't like it when things in recovery are flung around like a necessary evil. No, that is not true. We do not need a necessary evil in order to help someone. I will not go with that. What you're saying in that case is I have to work with these people or I don't make my money to pay my bills. That is something different. So it's just, lately I have felt pretty darn unsatisfied with, because there's a lot more in me than what I've been able to get done. And even my therapist was like, maybe you can look for an advocating place. And I've done that. And even them, no, they're just advocating their own bullshit. They're still they're advocating the body brokers and all the other bullshit. So, but let's get to the topic. I've already been rambling for 9.5 minutes. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. We're going to learn about living in the now, why it is so important. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching it live or the rewatch. And I appreciate everybody that listens and or participates. Even if you don't really participate, but you take what I have and go spread it. Heck, that's even better. That's even better. I've also wanted to say to a few of my listeners that have been, I noticed that you've been reposting my videos and stuff, and thank you for that. I wanted to thank you for that. It's not huge, but when we do that, God will get it to the right people, and I absolutely 100% believe that because it happens every single time. So, what is the main reason why we got to live in the now? Why is it so important? Because we alcoholics cannot live with our pressing problems. We've already figured that out. We're not very good at it, are we? No, we need a set of skills. A lot of other people were born with these skills. We were not born with these skills, right? I had to be taught how to be honest. I thought I was being honest, but then when somebody sat down with me and I did that fourth and fifth step, I could see where I was being dishonest, and I needed that in my face so that I could recognize it, right? Because without the recognition, I am not going to be able to do anything about it, right? Denial is not a river in Africa. I just said that to my therapist. She laughed and laughed and laughed. I don't think she'd ever heard it before. She's a little younger. She's a great therapist, though. She's like one of those people 30 going on 70. You know what I mean? That, and she knows that, I've been with her for a while, and she knows a lot about me, and I didn't feel like sitting down with another therapist and repeating everything. And she remembered, man, I think she must have like one of those photographic memories, because she remembers shit that I don't even remember bringing up. So, living in the present moment, or being present. Oh, being present. Oh. So when we're being present, we're doing that for other people. We're not usually doing that for ourselves. We're usually just being present, right? Is important because it fosters mindfulness. It reduces stress and anxiety. It enhances relationships and allows for a greater appreciation of life's experiences, leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. And this, I didn't say, why is living in the now so important for alcoholics? I just asked it in general, right? Because, I was going to go somewhere else. We don't need to do that. Here's a more detailed explanation. Reduces stress and anxiety. When you're focused on the present, you're less likely to worry about the future or dwell on the past, which can significantly reduce stress and anxiety. How are we going to do that? Well, you got to confront the past. I call it our snakes, and you have to confront those snakes. And when you willfully pull the snakes out from you and confront them, and what are snakes? Well, there are character defects, and we admit them. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we have something that we can work with, right? I was just when I was talking to my therapist, I was joking around. Leisure, good afternoon. Good to see you, man. Because I've been writing every Republican, and I know that sounds a little political, but at the moment, I'm trying to utilize pain in order to get something done, which is the abuse of the money created by the Attorney General. Well, I know they don't like him. I'm using it. I'm going to use it, man. You bet your ass I am. Anyway, where was I going with that? It'll come back to me. I know I was talking about something. Quick breath there. So when I bring my, that's what I was talking about. And she said, when's he being reelected? We elect for that, right? That's funny. You say voting, and yeah, it kind of is. And we vote the Attorney General, and yes, that is something that we do. I'm like, I should run for Attorney General. But that's not where the joke really comes from. The joke is that my political commercials would just be full of, you want to know how I know that fraud and everything's being done? Because that's exactly how I would have done it, and I'm an ex-criminal. But it's true. That's exactly how I know. So it's exactly how I know what these people are going to do next. And I've called every step of the way. Why? Because I have a criminal mind. Yeah, I do. Best way to catch a criminal is to catch a criminal. Right? Just like what's his name on To Catch a Predator, or use it, Chris Hansen. You want to know why Chris Hansen's good at that? Because he's a predator. He's a predator. Maybe not a young children, but he's still a predator. All right. So enhanced focus and concentration. Yeah, maybe you're a grandparent like me, and it's not necessarily exciting, but sit there and watch your grandkids jumping on a trampoline or playing in the backyard, and I just get to be present. But if I'm too worried about what's going to happen the rest of the day, or if I'm concerned about something that happened in the past, right? Leisure, I appreciate, but I'm not going to, if it gets too political, I'm not going to. I love you. I was trying to get it to for a joke. I didn't do a very good job of it. Instead, I brought up feelings. Right? Being present allows you to fully engage with the task at hand, improving focus and concentration, which can lead to better performance and productivity. Being in the now creates success. And we alcoholics need success in our lives. We need it each day, in fact, right? Because we're living in the moment. That's why a day at a time. In the beginning, a day at a time was just utilized. At least when you first start the program, it's utilized to not drink. But then it gets to a point where you utilize it so you don't go to jail. Right? Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. Right. Which can be, and when you're in the now, when you don't have to worry about other things while you're doing something, then you'll become better at what you do. It's like if I read how it works, the thing is my brain starts going. When I read, and I've read it a million times, I'm just repeating words I've said 100 times. My mind will wander. My mind wanders sometimes when I read because I have it memorized or whatever, right? So I have to bring myself back to reading what it is that I'm reading, so I can be in the now. Another reason is, God usually talks through his children. And if I'm not living in the now, then I'm not listening. Okay. It creates, look at all these. It creates serenity. It brings serenity because you can just, everything's okay now. And what does that mean? It means God's world is perfect. Maybe the world isn't perfect, but it's perfect right now. Right. Leisure says in the beginning, a day at time work because that's what I was doing, just trying to get through the day. Yeah. That's why the first 30 days, we call it 30 days and 1,000 nights, because you're usually up during the night too. Right. And it takes forever. Feels like forever. Improved relationships. When you're present with others, you're more likely to be attentive, empathetic, and engaged, leading to stronger and more meaningful connections. That's why AA meetings are so powerful. Because one person's talking and the other, if there's 20 people in that group, then you got 19 people listening. And and when we have inclusivity and we are holding space for others, because that's what we are doing when we're listening, we're holding space for others. And that makes them feel more comfortable to talk about what they want to talk about. Sometimes I'll be on a Zoom meeting, and I've been trying to be better at it myself too, because I catch myself not looking at the camera, but I'll see the light on their faces from their computer. I'll say something funny, and if I don't see people laughing, I know they ain't listening. I know they ain't listening. That irks me a little bit sometimes, but guess whose problem that is? Mine, right? That's mine. It's not their problem. Yeah. A greater appreciation for life. Isn't it weird that just living in the moment brings all of this? Well, until you experience it, it's going to kind of seem like a load of malarkey. So some of these things you're going to have to experience. Don't just take my word on it. Go try it out. Go give it a go. And see what dividends you come out with, right? So when we have a greater appreciation for life, well, for us, that would go back for being able to see the forest for the trees now, being able to see the beauty in pretty much everything around you. I'm always trying to look for the beauty in things. You know, every time I go to a meeting, I get to have a spiritual experience through somebody else. That's pretty cool. And it's because I'm in the now and I'm listening to them. Okay. What the one that I heard today was somebody had 90 days. They weren't expecting a chip from their wife, and their wife was bought them one and gave it to them, and told them how glad that they were sober and that they loved them sober so much. It's a big deal, man. Starts crying. It's neat when you see the newcomer crying out of gratitude instead of guilt anymore. Isn't that cool? I think it's pretty fucking cool, man. I love having those experiences. Leisure says maybe you thought your joke was funny and no one else did. Yeah, that could be it too, Leisure. I used to say this. You should see how funny I think I am when I'm drunk. All right. Even here, I laugh a lot. I crack jokes. I don't know if you're laughing or not. I don't know. I LOL all the time and I'm not really laughing, although I do find it enjoyable. Right. If I think it's really funny, I'll say, no, that's fucking funny. That's what I usually do. But, so, um, so being present can help you become more aware of your thoughts, feelings, and reactions, leading to greater self-understanding and emotional regulation. Heather gave us a good example of that just a minute ago. She didn't get the best news in the world, and she had to regulate her emotions through a series of things. Good job. And then she took it a step further, and she told on herself. See, when you say it out loud to somebody else or to a group of people, it tends to lose some of its power over you. Because now other people know. And you know that those people probably have your back and they want what's best for you, right? Yeah. Leisure says that really is special seeing someone that fresh be grateful. Thank you for reminding me that this program does work. Absolutely, Leisure. I'm finding, earlier I was talking about, maybe I could go out and advocate and do it. But I'm finding more and more that the work that I'm doing through Alcoholics Anonymous, or let me repeat, the service work that I'm doing through Alcoholics Anonymous, by doing these, by doing the podcasting, by starting new meetings, by doing several other things, I'm finding that AA is my advocation. It's what I'm advocating. Um, you know, I sent we made a flyer for grassroots so that it could start to be spread around so people know that we're at the community resource center. And so I sent it to Emma. She's the behavioral health supervisor for strategic health initiatives. And this is the kind of stuff that I get to experience all the time. Hi, Dion. That's wonderful. And I'm thrilled to see you're seeing good engagement. Thanks for expanding this important resource and partnership with CRC. I'll forward this to our networks so that they are aware. How did that come about? And we're going to get back to this. Don't worry. I change the topic often so I can speak for 40 minutes. I do that. Okay. I built a relationship with them. I've actually argued with Emma several times on things, but we always get back to the right thing. We always find a landing spot. Not only that, but she's really good with confrontation with me. And it's something I appreciate. When somebody calls me out the right way, there's just something about it that makes me appreciate it and want to change. My therapist just told me, she said, Dion, you are very true to your morals, but you are not stuck in your ways. And that's one thing that I appreciate about you. All right. Heather says spontaneous laughter was almost foreign as telling the truth. Yeah, it was, wasn't it? It's like I wouldn't allow myself to be happy. Mm. And I still do that. Where I'm like, something good is going on, but for some reason my brain just won't let me fucking enjoy it. Why? Because I'm not living in the now. Thank you for that. She also says, I now laugh as much as I cry. 2 new steps in the right direction. Good job, Heather. I'm very proud of you. Claire Joy says, true humility instead of acting humility. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I do strive for true humility. It's one of the things, like earlier when I was trying to say, it sounds egotistical, but if you listen to me long enough, you'll know I'm not. I just don't have a better word for it. Leisure says you need to give all that away, my friend, as if your life depends upon it. Oh, wait, it does. Thank you, Leisure. Oh. You get improved mental health by reducing stress and anxiety and fostering a sense of calm and well-being. Living in the present can positively impact your overall mental health. Right? So, and Heather, I don't mean to pick on you, but it's a fresh example, right? Well, what happened with that? Well, not only did you get that, but there were some other benefits. And they're talking about this right now. See, you're in a better mood. Okay. You took a different direction this time. That's living in the now. That's being conscious about what's going on. Not only that, but then you are a good example for the people around you. And they're watching. Oh, they're watching. I don't know if you have kids or not, but I tell you now, your kids are going to notice that shit. So it's even more than that. Okay. You're going to find, doesn't it get frustrating sometimes that it seems like if you're married and your spouse, your significant other is a non-alcoholic and they do something and it doesn't really affect anybody, but we do the same thing and 20 people are affected. I get frustrated by that. Why? I'm like, why is it so uneven? And that's why you hear me say that we're extraordinary people. And we are. I'm not sure why that is, but it is true. It has been true in my world. Enhanced creativity. How many times you see a new person come in, they're like, I used to do this, I used to do that. Amber does a lot of tie-dye and things like that. She's really good at it, right? But I bet it wasn't very good when she was drinking. She made this 8-year chip for me. Isn't that fucking cool? I've had it for almost a year now. What does that tell you? Tells you it's almost my birthday. So I got 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Let's see, 16 plus 6 would be 22. I got 3 weeks. Right. I'll be telling my story for anybody that lives in Colorado. I'll be telling my story on April 3rd at 7 o'clock at Primary Purpose Club. So I find there's a lot of creativity. Absolutely, there is, because we like to keep our hands busy. We tend to like, some people crochet. Maybe you got back to painting. Earlier, I talked about, I had this fear when I first got sober playing my drums, started playing them. Turned out it was better than I thought because I wasn't drinking. Yeah, you'll get more of your creativity back because you'll be able to focus on what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is you're drawing or you're writing or you're doing something creative, right? When you're not worrying about the past or future, you can be more open to new ideas and experience, which can boost creativity. I was just kind of talking about that with that, I have a strong set of morals, but I'm not stuck in my ways. I'm willing to listen to something new or a new idea. Absolutely, I am. Because the way I see it is God forbid you tell me something that's going to improve my life. Oh no. You should apologize for making me better. Right? And I know you're laughing at that one. I know you may just be laughing because I'm laughing. Leisure says that in my head I affected 100 people. Yeah. Better decision making. This is probably one of the best things that they brought up so far. One of the best things they brought up so far. Being present makes you being present allows you to make more informed decisions based on the current situation rather than being swayed by past regrets or future fears. Now there is a there the word informed there reminds me that Leisure has a show. It's called The Informed Opinion. Right? I'm just trying to plug my friend here. It was a horrible segue, but I can still make it funny by it being a horrible segue. Okay. So it doesn't sway me. Now, well, it says rather than being swayed by past regrets or future fears, right? It's a big one. But I still may be swayed by my past, but not the regrets. Not the regrets. Okay. What is this? It's just learning from the past. It's learning from experience. I can even go a little bit further and learn from your experience. A lot of the reason that I do this is because there's a lot of people out there that that have some time that have kind of left the program, and I want them to come back before they relapse and go through those last 10, 15 years of literal hell that I went through. It's one of the reasons. It's so you can avoid what I did not avoid. I don't want you to go through it. I don't. I want you to stay in the program. I want you to die with more time than me. I do. I want it. Yeah. I want me to be gone, and I want you to continue staying in the program because it's what's best for you and the people around you. Absolutely. Because I can tell you now, I'm going to tell you right now, you leave the program like all the way and not do a lot of this stuff and be reminded, there'll come a day. There will come a day. And I don't want that for you. It's not required. The successful consummation of the program is it doesn't have a requirement based on how long you drank. Enough can be enough. Yeah. I remember once I went into this bar and I just got done buying like an ounce of weed, right? And or maybe I was waiting on the weed to come there. And I go in and the waitress is my ex-wife's old sponsor. I'm like, Ronnie, is it weird? Oh, Wednesday edition now, not informed opinion. That's right. You changed it. Thank you, Leisure. That's right. You changed it. You were doing the other one with Jackie Selby. If you don't know who Jackie Selby is, you probably haven't lived in Colorado that long and listened to radio. All right. So, but yeah, that was a weird situation. And I asked her, I'm like, she told me, she's like, I see a lot of people that from AA come in here. And I'm like, oh, are you still going to meetings? So she's like, no, I don't go to meetings and things. But anyway, I don't know why it reminded me of that. Increased happiness is another benefit to living in the now. By focusing on the present and appreciating what you have, you can cultivate a sense of contentment and happiness. Now, happiness. Let's talk about happiness for a little bit. Because, for a long time, I thought happiness was the goal. I just want to be happy. If I could just be happy, then I'd be happy. I just want to be happy. Happy, happy, happy. Happiness was I found, number one, happiness only happens in one place right now. Cannot happen at any other time. You might be able to remember when you were happy. Try and set that as a goal. It's not going to work because you can't experience something new twice. Okay? And how do we get happiness? Well, we do that by living in the now, by doing the work. It's happiness is a dividend. It's a dividend. It's an emotional dividend for something that is going on right now. Right? Yeah. So, all right. I think that's going to be it for this one. Nothing else is coming into my mind. What are the benefits of living in the now? Happier, more optimistic, less depressed, satisfied with overall life. And we kind of need satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction, but I try and I try and I try. I can't get no. This video is going to be cut. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I love you. You know I do. Peace out and have a